These are the top crypto stories of the past day, everybody. We have a new token launching, and some are saying this is the next Terra Luna. What is going on with the yield, everybody? Also on, we have Bitcoin lobbying for an emoji. Is that actually going to amount to anything? And then last but not least, is Cardano going to be used to secure U.S. elections in 2024? Let's go around the blockchain. Thank you for joining, everybody. This is going to be the best crypto stream you're going to see in all of 2024. And I can tell already, so go ahead and hit that like button, everybody. We got PUEY on. Paul from Edge Wallet, the best software-based wallet you can find anywhere. Paul, how are you doing today?
Thank you. Doing great, especially after that intro, DZ. Thanks so much. It's been a great sunny day over here in San Diego. It looks like it's the San Diego episode today.
It is, and you know what? We might even have Ron Burgundy pop in later. Jake Perry is also on. Jake, first time on the show, so I want all the viewers at home, and if you're watching on X, make sure you go follow his content. Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. My littlest girl, she just started walking yesterday. We're trying to, get her to walk a little bit more. She's building up that confidence. So everything's going great today.
All right. So, first you crawl, then you walk, and then you start trading meme coins on Solana. So how far are we into the third step there? All right. Well, let's talk. Then they fall in more ways than one. Literally, figuratively, you fill in the blank. All right. Let's talk about the hottest launch of the month, at least. I know it's only the third day, but Athena is launching, if I share the screen here, innovative synthetic stablecoin or alluring fad. I want to share this number. It's a stablecoin protocol where you can, right now it's a $1.3 billion market cap, fully diluted $13 billion, but they have minted $1.89 billion of USDE. Why are so many people minting it? 35.4% APY on this stablecoin. It's fully backed, transparently on chain. When asked where the yield comes from, because that is the important question, where does the yield come from? They gave a answer pretty similar to answers we've heard in the past. I'm going to give you their answer. It is ensured through the use of delta hedging derivatives positions against protocol-held collateral. Paul, I'm going to say that one more time. Where's the yield come from? It's ensured through the use of delta hedging derivatives positions against protocol-held collateral. Paul, when you heard that, or when you're hearing that, is this setting off, is this assuaging your fears? That's all you had to say. Or is this maybe not the most clear as you would like it to be?
It's not as clear as they easily, as I think they could make it. Now, granted, I still don't 100% understand where the yield is coming from, but I'm less concerned about where the yield is coming from and more concerned about what is pegging the coin in the first place. And so the peg of the coin, the first thing that I understand about the pegging of the coin is it's initially backed by ETH. And that is a key differentiator from Luna. Luna was pegged by Luna. Right? That was it. Like that was what USD, I'm sorry, I can't remember now. What
UST, USD, I think.
UST.
Yeah, UST.
Kept wanting to say USDT, but no, it's Tether, it's UST. UST was effectively backed by Luna, and Luna didn't have a utility other than backing the stablecoin. So obviously the issue with that is if you don't have a utility other than backing the stablecoin, what really is the floor price of UST or actually Luna? Because if people don't care about the stablecoin and no one's using the stablecoin, which really nobody was, then there wasn't any reason to hold Luna, and therefore the dump caused the depeg. The nice thing about being backed with an uncorrelated asset, an asset that doesn't have anything to do with the need to stabilize USDE, or Athena, is that Ether already has utility in the network. All right, people want to hold it. There's potentially an ETF coming out for it. It is the gas that you pay for fees on smart contracts. It's the collateral that's already being used in other DeFi DApp applications and protocols. So that separation of use is actually a very valuable thing in making sure that the collateral you have a sufficient amount of dollar-based collateral to back this dollar-based token. So that gives me actually a whole lot more confidence in the fact that this won't have as strong of a likelihood of getting depegged. Now, where the hell the yield is coming from, I don't fully understand. I'll be the first to admit I don't fully understand. However, the first thing that I would think of is they could easily have the yield coming from their own token. And that's the way it is for most DeFi protocols, is they just mint their own token separate from the dollar-based token, right? They just mint that token, and for the first year, it's this gigantic airdrop, and that becomes the yield. And then later the yield starts to drop and that's
Yeah.
fine. But that the coins are still, once again, collateralized with ETH. And if people want to uncollateralize them, that reduces the supply, but it doesn't necessarily reduce the value of the USDE. So that's my take on it. I think it's actually an exciting project. I'm excited to see it because I do want to move us away from like the Tethers and the USDCs of the world.
Yeah. I mean, the more competitors, the better, the more robust and healthy the market becomes. You brought up a good point. They sell the token, and just quick back of the napkin math. We're assuming it's roughly 10% of the token is out. So you can see here, fully diluted valuation, $13.5 billion. Current market cap, $1.3 billion market cap. So they can still have 90% of the tokens ready to, ignite that yield and keep the yield coming there. Now, he brought up a good point there, Jake Perry. Terra was essentially, there wasn't much behind that protocol. It was essentially just backing UST. It also had Mike Novogratz conviction with his wolf tattoo. So, it was also backed by Novogratz conviction, I guess. But Athena backed by ETH, does that, assuage your fears? Kind of what I was saying to Paul. What are your thoughts about, well, it's not backed by Athena, it's backed by Ether. Does that make a difference to you?
Yeah, so even though it's backed by ETH, they do have like a custodial. They're doing custodial holds there. And that kind of brings me back to a little bit of Celsius, a little bit back to BlockFi, which I held my Bitcoin in BlockFi. I was at one point a whole corner on BlockFi. It was really great. So I was earning some juicy rewards, but knowing that there is the risk of someone hacking in or the company going bust, regardless of whatever it's backed by, the fact that there's not like actual cash that it's backed by kind of like makes me say, I don't really want that, because what is it really backed by? Besides ETH, is there actual dollars? Because the price of ETH fluctuates, and I know that they have like a bit of a solution for that, but still knowing that, okay, what is it backed by? It's very ambiguous. I personally, as I was looking into this project, I was like, I don't really trust something like this if you don't have money to back up your words. And if you're doing custodial holds, we preach in crypto all the time, not your keys, not your crypto, unless you're actively trading. And not to mention 35% APY, that's not sustainable. I mean, it will be for a long time. And it brings me back to what took place with Time, when Wonderland and Olympus, and seeing the massive, APY there. It reminds me of things like that. And again, not sustainable. And so I don't think anything like that. Like, this is I would say a short-lived project, something to maybe get in, get out, and call it a day.
Well, follow up, how would you say it ends? Does it just kind of trend towards zero, the APY, or is it in, maybe a little bit more of a scary situation?
Yeah, hopefully it's not a scary situation. I remember in 2022, I was finally graduating with my bachelor degree. And as I was going in to graduate, I just saw everything happening with Celsius and the whole FTX debacle, everything just crashing and melting. And literally everything was turning into a puddle. And I think that this is slightly different because, well, maybe, hey, it might be slightly different, but it was FTX, it was Sam Bankman-Fried that was ruining Celsius, that took over BlockFi, melted the whole like organization there. I don't really think that this is, even though there's really good money behind it. There's things like Binance Labs behind it, people from Aave, really good projects. And so I don't think that it's going to be like an FTX thing by any means. But I do think that API would slowly dwindle down. And so that's kind of what I think about it. I don't think it's going to completely melt. I don't think there's going to be a rug pull or anything like that. Nor do I think it'd be a failed project. Just the APY has to come down.
Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely some smart people on it. I want to say Kobe. I saw Kobe, Balaji, perhaps. Nate Bender, quick comment. Cardano's about a moon. If you're not buying now, you buy at $1.20. We also had IMJ. This is a good panel of guys here in this stream. And Zachary Martin, he likes your background. Paul, I like this guy's office view. We got freaking snow yesterday. All right, last question on this, Paul. Do you have any advice for those who are just seeking high yield and 10%, then they see 20%. Oh, let me go put everything in here. 37%. Well, let me put everything in here. Oh my God, now someone's got 43%. What advice would you have for that person just constantly seeking higher and higher yield?
So ironically, if you think about it, remember the old days when we'd say in the crypto world, we don't wake up for less than 10x? These are way less than 10x. And so my take is it's a small difference between 10%, 20, 30, 40%, unless you're in it for the long haul. And most of these projects, exactly as was mentioned, aren't the ones that I'd put money in for the long haul. Like they're new, they're a bit risky. And so if I'm going to put a small amount just to kind of play with it, 40% almost isn't even good enough. Like, I already got 3x on Solana in a few months. I'd sooner put it into a true high risk, high return. The sub 2x type of returns are more of the long haul, like put in a bank account, earn 5, 10, 15% yield. I'd sooner put something into like Thorchain, which has been proving itself pretty darn well over the course of the past year or two, especially with savers, which is a much simpler protocol. They're not having to put dual asset liquidity. You just put one asset. And I think you can put USDC, I think, on either Ethereum or Avalanche and earn sometimes upwards of 10%. Now that's something that I'd consider putting in on the longer haul, because you could actually see where the yield comes from in that sense. And it's not trying to back a stablecoin. You're getting yield from people actually trading on this protocol, and a lot of people are trading on the protocol. So I'd find better longer term options than trying to hop onto these pseudo high, but sub 100% yields. That would be my take. I think it's a bit risky, but I like I said, though, I still like the fact that this protocol is existing from the viewpoint it's not being backed by a dollar sitting in a bank account, right? And using the TradFi system. I'm actually okay with it being backed by ETH. I would like it to, and I don't know this in detail based on what I've read, but if you over collateralize it with ETH, and you know what ETH's volatility is, if you say 10x over collateralized it, then you've got enough funds in there for the average ETH volatility over the course of the past 7 years that ETH has existed. That should be entirely fine. More than 7 years, almost 9 years that it's existed. So that to me is sufficient. It's just not capital efficient, right? But the token then, that dollar-based token is actually pretty stable.
Over collateralized, a good example, folks, would be Cody. The Cody ecosystem has the ZED stablecoin on Cardano. It is a 400% over collateralization there. Zachary Martin says, put it in Chainlink, Paul. Don't be silly. Paul, you actually gave me a really good idea. I'm going to invent a new phrase because you're a smart guy, and you sprinkle some of that wise elder wisdom on me, and now I feel like I gotta spread this message. We've all heard, maybe not all, many of us have heard the term non-linear upside. Paul, when he said 10x, this really got me to think about this. Non-linear upside means, well, I could get a 2x, a 3x, a 100x. But the downside, if I put $100 in a token, I can only lose 1x. So it's a non-linear upside, meaning my upside much, much more than my downside. Chasing yield is non-linear downside. I just invented that. If you think about it, you're only chasing 10%, 20%, but your downside is 5x that, potentially 10x that. So you actually have non-linear downside. Yeah, you don't want to be in crypto 100%. For non-linear downside. I need I'm writing a business book. I'm about to put
I like that one. All right, that's going to be the quote for the tweet after this episode.
Hey, there you go. And that's why you're watching. Go ahead and smash that like button. Every now and then we bring out nuggets. All right. Well, speaking of nuggets, Bitcoin wants a Bitcoin nugget to appear on your phone. A Bitcoin emoji, everybody. How do we feel about a Bitcoin emoji? If I got to share this article, crypto giants pushing to get Bitcoin an emoji. 35 and Nexo prominent crypto organizations. Why? They only got to get 50,000 endorsements. Now, hold on for a second. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this. This is 8 years ago. Taco Bell did the same thing with the taco emoji, ended up lobbying for it and successfully passed. You see the taco emoji all the time there. So pretty interesting. 10,000 people have signed it thus far. This is about where we're at. I was looking at some of the other BitGet, Chainalysis, Kraken, Polygon, Brave. Some pretty big crypto companies are in this. It's the Unicode Consortium is who we're lobbying. That's who's in charge of all that. Now, Jake, if every phone, every iPhone, every Android all of a sudden gets an update, boom, we all have a Bitcoin emoji. Is that going to amount to a hill of anything?
I think we should have the Bitcoin emoji eating the taco emoji. That's what I think. No, no, I think it will, and it's amazing that the Bitcoin emoji isn't here yet. Wild to think about, because this is something that I've always wanted, and this is not a joke. It's weird that this is actually one of the topics of discussion that we're talking about today, because I've wanted a Bitcoin emoji for years. Because why not? Especially like given the fact that if you're on X and you go to type in a Bitcoin emoji, well, sad, you don't have one. But what you can do is put hashtag Bitcoin. But if you're on X and you know the algorithm, that doesn't mean anything anymore. hashtags don't mean anything anymore on X. They kind of like don't reach as many people as most people would think that they would. And then you can see that little Bitcoin logo. But if you just have a Bitcoin icon right there on your phone, just a little emoji, just pop it in there a little bit, hashtag Bitcoin, forget that. No, we have emojis now because we're pro Bitcoin. And honestly, it kind of tells us that TradFi is a little bit out of touch when it comes to like the way that the new era of money is going. And the new era of money is going completely digital. We're all in cryptocurrency. We love it. We're here for the memes and we stay for the gains. That's what we do. We all have a good laugh about it. But Bitcoin is the face of all cryptocurrency. And so if we just had a little Bitcoin emoji that we could throw in on our Twitter post or on our YouTube account, that'd be so great. Or just send it to a friend. That would be nice. I would love it. I would use it all the time.
You brought up X and Twitter. It is my understanding now, I don't have any confirmation of this, but B&B has its own hashtag. You see the B&B logo. It's my understanding they had to pay $1 million for that. It's a pay-to-play system on X, Twitter. I think they still have to approve it. Paul, I don't know if you've heard the same.
So you're saying Satoshi Nakamoto needs to pay $1 million?
Well, Jack did that one because he's Jack. That's just Jack being Jack. All right, now, Paul, I'm wondering, after Bitcoin, probably going to be Ethereum, if there were to be emojis issued. What is the third coin you could choose? And just probably think, what are your thoughts about a Bitcoin emoji?
So initial thoughts on a Bitcoin emoji is I think we need more than one because Bitcoin has so many emotions. I want the roller coaster guy going up, the roller coaster guy going down, the roller coaster Bitcoin going sideways.
Bullish and bearish. I honestly thought you were going to say Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin. I was like, do not say we need one for BSV, BCH. He's not going to say that, is he? Okay. For up and down. That makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Up and down, because we've got so many emotions in the crypto space, so many emotions in Bitcoin. We need more than one. But for sure, I'm a big fan. A picture's worth 1,000 words, as opposed to having to go look for a GIF and put it into the chat app when I'm talking to people to kind of give that incitement of like, oh yeah, this is crypto, this is Bitcoin. I just simply look up an emoji. So I'm all for it. I think it actually can kind of drive adoption to a small degree. And it also drives this level of acceptance. It's like, okay, this isn't this weird fringe thing that just those weirdos that go to these conferences know about. This is etched in society. It's almost like getting into a dictionary and, an unabridged dictionary. This is a real word in the language. That means this is a real thing in our community, our society, in this world. So no, I'm absolutely for it. I think it will help. And as I'd mentioned, I think we just need more than one. And whether it be more than one as far as the other coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, God, I hope the third one isn't what actually is the third market cap, which would probably be a stable coin. Please don't give us a USDC emoji. Or any other stable coin. Third one, hard to say. I mean, maybe Doge because it's fun and emojis.
Yeah,
are
I
fun.
can actually see that. No,
Right?
I like that. Yeah. Somewhere Jeremy Allaire's like, oh yeah, USDC. I like the idea that you brought up definitions. I always think Merriam-Webster's, they Oxford, they get these crypto terms year after year after year, especially bull market years. There's like, we're not adding hodl. Who added hodl? Get this out of here. We're not adding hodl. Okay, just stop. Sit down, nerd in the corner. All right, now speaking of nerds in the corner, let's talk about Cardano. Everybody, I did it. It's okay. I'm a holder too. Cardano might be securing U.S. elections. Folks, what is going on with this? Is this real? U.S. states approach Cardano Foundation to build blockchain voting platform. There's a couple takeaways here. It was in an interview, Daily Coin, and this person right here is the Cardano Foundation CEO, Frederick Gregard. Hey, we have been approached by a couple states in the U.S. saying, hey, can you help us do a lightweight blockchain solution to make voting more transparent and accountable? I want to scroll to the rest of the part. He did not say how many states. He was kind of mum on the details right there. So we don't know. We don't have any determination how many states, which states, how far the talks went. They do have ways to implement blockchain-based voting into just, their model. This is also off the news. Elon Musk just followed a large Cardano account. There's rumors Cardano is going to be added to Doge. So a lot of people throwing out dubious speculation at this point. Now, they didn't say how many states. Jake, what is the over-under for you? They said states, plural, so I assume more than one. 50? No way. There's just zero way it's going to be all 50 states approach Cardano Foundation. What is your number, and what are your thoughts of Cardano being used for voting?
Okay, so so I was looking at, I was like, there's got to be a number somewhere. Someone must have leaked this somewhere, but no, it hasn't been leaked. I don't know. But if I had to guess, so a little bit about me, I don't trust the government by any stretch of the imagination, and so if there was, I would just assume that any blue state said no, and 99% of red states also said no or
Wow.
yes or who knows. um, but I don't trust the government by any means. So I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you, but if I had to guess, maybe some like really diehard libertarian state said, you know what, we want Cardano to make sure that the elections are secure. That would be great. Now, as far as that actually happening, I actually don't think that we're anywhere close to it. Now, is Cardano the right cryptocurrency that we need to be looking at to secure the election? I don't know. Maybe.
What chain, Jake? If you had to say, let me just go ahead. Probably not Solana. It's going to go out on that Tuesday. That's going to be one of the days. So what chain would Bitcoin 10-minute block time? I guess maybe you try to use Lightning with the ordinal protocol. Well, what chain would you use and why?
Well, a lot of people in the past, we've talked about Chainlink, onboarding, real world information onto the blockchain. That could be one. Now, I do like Cardano because they have worked with governments before. Like they've done stuff with Africa, and I think they're working with, Dubai right now, or the UAE. So I mean, I could understand why people would be reaching out to Cardano, and it is a really serious. I'm a Cardano permable. I love Cardano. I own Cardano. It was one of my biggest gainers in the last bull run. And not only do I love the gains, but I love the tech behind it. So that's maybe if there was an alternative, it would probably be Chainlink.
All right, Eric Carlson has a prediction. It's 5 states, and it's the first 5 states that legalized Mary Jane. So California would be up there. Then he actually has a comment. Minus California. Okay, all right. Paul, should we use blockchain to secure our elections in 2024? And what are your thoughts about which chain might be used in the future?
Man, I've had a pretty strong opinion about this. I think we should absolutely not use anything even digital. I think we should go back to good old-fashioned paper. Good old paper and a box. For those of you that haven't watched this video, you've got to check out this video. It's called The Cardboard Box Reform Theory by James D'Angelo. It's from way back in 2014. And he was talking about voting, not just on an individual level, but at the constituent level, meaning the people that we vote for and what they vote for, right? So the Congress people, the House of Representatives. And he had mentioned that the more transparent their voting became, the bigger or larger amount of money that went into lobbying. So if you think about it, if you're going to go and bribe a congressman to vote a certain way on a bill, it would only benefit you if you knew how they voted. Otherwise, what's the point of bribing them? You don't actually know what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing applies for individual voting. As soon as you go digital, how do you go digital and ensure it's one person per vote, but you can't tell what that person voted for? That's the kind of difficult part. Maybe there's some ZK zero knowledge magic that can accomplish this, but I'm not quite aware of how that would work. But then again, that's a little bit over my head.
It hides the ability to detect fraud even more with ZK and sharding technology. It's like, well, trust us that the ZK proof matches up on the back end. You're like, well, can I just look at paper that says B or T or RFK? Paper elections are
there, right.
They're faster. They're faster, they're cheaper, more secure.
They're not fast or cheap. Paper is one of those that I think it is more anonymous. And that really is the big thing. It is the most anonymous form of voting, but it is slower, it is more expensive, and it can be frauded. And that's kind of the challenge with paper. And we really have a choice between these two things, something that can be more easily frauded or something that is very not private. And I think, once you're much more transparent and not private, you have other ways of corrupting elections, such as holding a gun to people's heads saying you better vote this way. And so that actually I think is worse.
It's my experience that electronic is slower. There's California state senators that took 2 weeks after election day to find that certification recently. This is recently with electronic machines. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Seems like a long time to count. Whereas Argentina had the results that evening with a close election. with paper.
If it's electronic, exactly. With electronic, you should absolutely be faster. If you're slower, you've got something else going wrong. Yeah, you're absolutely going wrong. The fact that Argentina can do it with paper fast implies that we can definitely streamline a paper election. And until we know of a way of making sure we have a one person, a one vote, and an anonymous voting system, I wouldn't do it digitally. Absolutely wipe it off the plate. Don't touch it. Just go paper. And do as best you can with that. That would be my take. And as much of a technologist as I am, and I love blockchain technology and crypto and whatnot, I know where it's good. I also know where it's bad. And this is dangerous. I wouldn't want to touch this.
I would agree. Now you can find clips online of in Argentina, they have to count behind glass windows or wall. And then you just see 20, 30 people with their cell phone out filming them the whole time, eagle-eyed.
Yeah.
So a lot of transparency out there. Follow up, Jake. We got a $2 super chat from Marcel. Should I sell Solana for VeChain or Cardano, or don't sell? Perry, what are your thoughts on VeChain, Cardano, Solana?
So I've been watching VeChain, Cardano, and Solana for a long time. So after the FTX thing, I kind of got out of Solana. I was like, obviously bad move because it's gone on to the freaking 10x from here. But VeChain, I really like VeChain. VeChain's doing great, and I think that they changed their color on their logo, which I like. But I'm also slightly colorblind, so I think it's green. And Cardano, I love Cardano, obviously. So if you're going to pull your money out of anything, I always recommend, and I have recommended this, not financial advice, because I don't care what you do with your money, but I've always said Cardano is a great, it's safe, and it has the potential to 10x from where it is now, which is $5. And I think that's fair. I don't think it's too bullish. I don't think it's too bearish. I think it's kind of right in the middle of that sweet spot. And I've told so many people, because like I've said, I love Cardano. Cardano is one of the best ways to go. And kind of to touch on what Paul was saying just a second ago, was about our elections. I'm kind of with him. And I think we should have paper voting, not just, looking at Cardano or anything else, but, paper voting, make it as secure as possible, because so many people are not trusting election and they think that there's election fraud. And so, you know what, let's make it easy. Let's make it simple. Let's make it secure. And Cardano is great, but for elections, maybe not so great.
Yeah, no, I can't say the company name because we'll probably get shadow banned. I'm sure that's a keyword that is noticed, but they sued Fox News. So if you're wondering who I'm talking about, someone put out something. Well, the thing is, current digital voting gets converted to a paper printout right now as it is, except we can't audit the software. It's in court. Even if in court, you cannot audit the software, they've claimed, due to not privacy, but because their business model hurt their business model. They can't share their secret code. Only they can have their secret code. So by design, it is not auditable. So just one little asterisk I wanted to point out there. But all right, folks, I think we had a really good discussion. What chain would you use, Chad? I see a lot of Cardano fans, a lot of VeChain fans right now. Paul, did you end up saying the chain? Would you just say EVM probably?
Funny is I'm leaning more into Solana, with each day, just because I really like the no layer 2 rhetoric. All right, the user experience of just not having to deal with a layer 2.
Have you seen the Solana commercial?
I have not.
Okay, we're going to end with this, folks. This is the best crypto ad. I'm not saying that lightly. This is the best crypto ad I've ever seen in my life. I'm a refresh audio. Owen, let me know if everything should be good. I believe so. This is very, very, very funny. Hold on, I hit the wrong button here. Jeez Louise. I swear I've streamed before. Okay, yeah, we got our sound. We're good to go. I'm gonna hit X on it one more time. Hit this. Go claim your W. This is someone making fun of Ethereum here. It's worth it. Trust me.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. We got your ether scan back, and unfortunately, we found something.
What is it, Doc?
You've been diagnosed with ETH maximisis. You're an ETH maxi. An ETH maxi.
Nathan. Doc, that's not possible.
It's okay. He's going to take some time to process this. He can only handle 10 alphabets per second.
He has been really slow lately.
Is he allergic to anything?
To any wallet that isn't MetaMask.
Allergic to good UI. Any difficulties while digesting?
He couldn't digest the fact that Austin Federa went unbankless. But is he going to be okay, Doctor?
I'm going to need to run some more tests. What do you see here, Nathan?
What are you doing?
What? I'm just booking a cab with a decentralized application on Ethereum Layer 1. See? It's 5 minutes away.
He's seeing fully functioning consumer apps and white papers. That's stage 3 of ETH Maximizes.
What does that mean, Doctor?
Do you see all of this gas in his transactions? It's only a matter of time till he gets wrecked.
There must be some cure.
We can reduce gas if we use Wormhole and bring him into the Solana ecosystem. Exposure to real apps that actually work can cure him. But we must act quickly or he'll progress to stage 5.
What happens in stage 5?
That could be fatal. That's when they start a podcast. Quick!
What's happening, Doctor?
It's a common reaction faced by ETH maxis. They can't function without another layer. Layer 3. Layer 4.
Oh,
Every day, millions of devs suffer from ETH maxis.
Layer 3, layer 4. All right, well, that was pretty funny. I think we all had a pretty good joke about that. Hit that like button if he's gone too far. I don't know if that was too far. He's gone. He's gone off the deep end. L2s, he needs another layer. Good stuff there, folks. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you go down below. Check out the links. Paul's got a great wallet with great UI. Take that, MetaMask. Edge Wallet is the name. Jake Perry, really good content from his side as well. So we appreciate it if you go show him some ATB love. And special notes, one episode next week. I got a lot of traveling. I got a lot of stuff on the horizon, but we might be floating some guest hosting. So stick around for that. I'm pretty excited about it. And that's all we got. We'll see you folks tomorrow morning.